Hey, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and today I'm going to be talking about my picks, my personal preference when it comes to if I want to play an MMORPG and I want to feel nostalgic. So this is an entirely biased list, and I'm just going to really kind of rant out my experiences historically with these games and talking about the future moving forward, because this list isn't just games that were a big part of my past, my history, but also games that I can come back to and play for the nostalgia and also play for them being genuinely decent games, and they're still actually always being added on to, expanded, and the communities actually are thriving. So I have only 3 games in this list. Now there's a bunch of old games that I played that I do miss, you know, WildStar, sure, Firefall, I really like that game, sure, but no, these were games that kind of carved me as a character, helped kind of form me as a person in a way, and especially as a content creator, as somebody who plays MMOs, but then also I can still play these games, and in fact, I still actually do play all 3 of these games. So if you want to check out some awesome games, I'm sure you can look in the comments below. Everyone is going to be shouting out what their nostalgic MMO was, their awesome journeys and adventures that they went on, and I think it's going to be a fun read, and hopefully we can all make some friends and play these games still today again. So yeah, here are my most nostalgic MMORPG. Now, starting out the list is actually a game that is technically, in a way, not an MMORPG, and that is Minecraft. Now, I'm putting Minecraft on here just as a blanket statement because the server that I played on doesn't exist anymore. Its name was Epicsburg, and in fact, there are still some very shameful videos on my channel that are very old when I used to play on it, and I would do stuff like how to build redstone machines, or I don't know, I tried to do Minecraft Let's Plays, but I was very half-hearted about it. I didn't really care about YouTube exactly like that back then, but I was just having fun, and Epicsburg was the first MMO server that I played on. Got into it very quickly, actually, technically even before I bought Minecraft. You know, you could play like the demo, and then people like hosted servers based on the free-to-play Minecraft thing. Anyway, so Epicsburg was one of those servers, and God, dude, I remember that jumping into it, and immediately, instantaneously, I felt that MMO magic. So what made playing Minecraft as an MMO actually fun was like the different cities that were being like sprung up, because Minecraft is a game where you can build and break things, and you know, people were like, the whole point was to kind of get building materials, which there was this whole trading economy about, and you know, finding the best spots on the map to build up a city and trying to have the biggest town, because you could actually invite new players into your town, and you know, just trying to build up the biggest that you can. So I thought it'd be fun if, wait, what if I just built, like, you know, the craziest city all by myself, you know, had redstone machines and all this crazy awesome stuff just to make a huge spectacle, and you know, then have the biggest city on the server. So that was my goal. And normally when I play games, or especially MMOs, my goal is, how can I show off the most? And in Minecraft, with the whole concept's building, and in MMO, that's the whole concept of is making cities, then yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to have the most epic Epicsburg inside the server of Epicsburg. I'm sure a lot of you guys have similar stories and adventures of you in an MMO server taking on like some souped up nether dragon or whatever. You know, maybe the community members got together and created like some sort of rail system, or made a community build, or maybe the GM spawned in monsters and did some sort of like zombie wave event. There's so many cool things that you can do in Minecraft that are directly just grassroots and community driven and friendly and dynamic and organic that you're not going to see in the sort of behind the scenes-y, you know, closed curtain puppetery sort of, you know, AAA experience of general MMORPGs. Things update very slowly, things are kind of awkward and clunky sometimes, but you know, it's a polished experience, but it's a production, and it's something that you kind of live through once. And yeah, so Minecraft was like, every day's different, and at the same time, it's still Minecraft, right? And even today, you can go in and you can find games like Winecraft, which is more of a theme park, sure. There's a bunch of PvP sandbox MMOs in Minecraft, which frankly was actually some of the best PvP I've ever had. Minecraft with digging and hiding and running, losing all your loot, and you know, the fear of it, building up and protecting against griefing. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on with sandbox PvP in Minecraft that people kind of scoff at because, oh, it's for kids. No, it's really not. Darkfall players, Minecraft is genuinely fun. You know, I've played RuneScape, Black Desert Online, World PvP, and World of Warcraft, and in many other games. Minecraft is genuinely fun for, I think, all types of players. If you want a casual co-op MMO experience, theme park, sandbox, that's the whole point of Minecraft, is it can be anything. And yet at the same time, it always has that same magic. So Yeah, definitely. I suggest go and checking out the online minigame servers. Sure, playing Minecraft single player, why not? Co-op especially. But no, even as an MMO, even though it's a niche experience and the game wasn't quite designed with that in mind, with add-ons and community support, you can find some really fantastic servers, and you're going to have an incredibly unique time that I think you're going to want to come back to. Especially if you already love Minecraft, it's a game that you will be coming back to. It's a game that you will walk away with memories and experiences that you will carry for the rest of your life. I really think so, especially if you love MMOs. This is something truly special, and it's special because you make it. Yeah, I mean, that's cheesy, but it's true. And you can even actually make an MMO in Minecraft. Anybody can. And in fact, maybe I should. If you guys want me to, like the video, let me know your support in the comments below. I'll just throw up I don't know, maybe like a giant mob fantasy Minecraft MMO server. It could be cool. But I really will never forget my first night in Epicsburg, where I was struggling to find the perfect location for my city. I remember the waves of monsters that came at night before I could really set up the townie, and I remember talking to everyone and trying to get them to join my city. I remember, trading cobblestone and stuff like that, so I can actually like build up these giant towers and things to get everyone's attention. I remember making videos kind of suggesting community events and ideas, and I just really felt like I was a part of the world, more so than any other game. And that kind of makes sense, right? Again, the grassroots nature. But if you want that experience, you can find that in some smaller MMOs. I can actually suggest Toontown or Adventure Quest 3D for sure. But Minecraft and those small MMO servers that you can find sprinkled throughout, or maybe make your own, yeah, that's going to be the most potent form of those for sure. So don't look down on Minecraft just because the whole experience isn't technically an MMO. You're going to get an MMO out of this game if you look for it. Next one is World of Warcraft, and luckily you can actually go back and experience Classic. Classic World of Warcraft is a different beast, and I think a lot of people like to make fun of it, so let's talk about that. The difference between retail and Classic is retail is in a lot of ways kind of easier in the ways that Classic is hard, but then in the ways that Classic is easy, which is like the end game, that's where retail actually kind of shines. So it's almost like you play Classic for the leveling, you play it for the progression, and it's amazing because you can actually go back and play this, and they're doing all the expansions, so they're going to be at least the Burning Crusade. They're doing the new Burning Crusade, and you can actually play through the vanilla experience kind of like with all these updates as they open up with everyone else. Awesome. It's all about the progression. It's about the journey when it comes to Classic World of Warcraft. And it's not perfect, but that imperfection kind of makes it perfect. And there is a bit of challenge. There is difficulty. I have definitely died much more in Classic. I'm talking about vanilla and even the re-released Classic than in Retail WoW. But Retail WoW also really has that fantastic end game. It's got the competitive PvP, and it also does just have, all the trimmings and stuff like that. So there's actually reasons to play both for sure. But to get that true nostalgic hit, you gotta play Classic World of Warcraft. Actually, even if you've never played Classic World of Warcraft, I kind of recommend that you do. Just get a sub to WoW and check it out. The classes that are probably the most fun to level is gonna be Hunter for sure. Priest is actually really cool. And Druid in Classic is a super weird case of where it's like the most awkward class ever, but like because it's awkward, kind of like it's cool. I don't know. But there's just a lot of weird oddities that go on with Classic, and it's something that's truly beloved. Quests were kind of epic. There's a few ones that really made a difference. Item upgrades made sense in a way, like, each item kind of felt more impactful, and the items also had more uniquity to them. Like Ravager is one that I seriously remember. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember certain rares or epics that would drop from dungeons, and it would just completely evolve, like, your playstyle, actually. So, yeah, no, there was some weird stuff that you could do that I really appreciated, and also the way that the game was kind of designed, which was frankly very experimental, really definitely more emphasized community interaction and literally typing in the chat. And while the mechanics in the end game aren't that complex, and technically probably the kits and classes are more mechanical now in retail, there is something genuinely special about World of Warcraft that took the EverQuest formula and evolved it, and which completely blew out the entire genre, and there's a reason why it's so popular today with Classic even. And yeah, retail's got its place too. And I actually think they both can be nostalgic. I was just leveling, actually, inside of the Battle for Azeroth expansion, which, I don't know, I think I want to go level in Warlords of Draenor, but regardless, like, I still kind of get that vibe of, yeah, this is World of Warcraft. It's not as good as Classic when it comes to leveling, at least in the Battle for Azeroth, but overall, you know, it's still World of Warcraft, and I really appreciate it. Like, it's really not a broken game. I mean, it's broken in a lot of ways, but it was such a solid foundation that it just completely, I don't know, dissolved the genre, basically. And it was separated between WoW clones and games that on purpose were trying to be opposite to World of Warcraft, such as Guild Wars 2 and Elder Scrolls Online, right? Oh, man. So I really appreciated this game. I first leveled up, you know, I was an altaholic, so I actually never got to the end game of Classic, which makes me want to kind of do, like, they're now releasing Naxxramas, actually, in rating, and it looks really challenging. It makes me want to go and level again and play that and join in that experience, because it is difficult, and the balance and everything is totally changed, and, you know, the item rewards you get from that are so impactful and juicy. I think I might play both Classic and Retail, even though it's like, it's the same game, but it's not. Oh, there is something special about it, which is why I'm even making this video. That's something special these games have, and World of Warcraft Classic definitely had. If you guys haven't seen, you know, gameplay footage of it, especially Asmongold as he's, you know, actually exploring Naxxramas now, dude, you guys definitely should. It's so cool. But, yeah, no, I really appreciate it. I loved playing all the different classes, and one thing that I loved about Classic was the class quests. Class quests specifically, I think if you played an undead rogue, that is probably the best experience of all time. Now, actually in Retail, if you level as an undead anything, it's pretty great. But Undead Rogue had some of the coolest quests ever. I mean, it was like kind of like a stealth missions and stuff like that. There was a lot of weird gimmicky things that each class had. Each class had sort of like these quality of life things like portals or summoning or, you know, they just had some weird oddities like, okay, Warlocks can give aqua breathing. I don't know if you guys need to go underwater for a little bit. Just weird, fun little experimental gimmicky things that, yeah, it didn't make the game perfect, but it was just such an oddball and weird thing, especially now where everything's so streamlined, that there is something really cool that makes people work together so that it's a streamlined experience as a group, but of course it's harder solo, and, you know, a lot of people really do like playing solo now. But I really liked it. It was fun. I liked the challenge. I liked the weight of it. One thing that I loved about World of Warcraft was the Zeppelins and the travel, the transport. It wasn't blinking and teleporting, but you actually had to move to certain areas, group together, go on the Zeppelin, go over here, meet up in front of the dungeon, stone or whatever inside the instance, wait for everyone to get there, and then the Alliance comes and they're like, oh no, we want to fight in Shadowfang Keep, and so they PvP you in the open world, and yeah, no, Baron's chat was so fun. Like, there was a lot of really cool stuff, and people think that the Classic has been meted out and ironed out. To an extent, yeah, but it's still an incredibly nostalgic experience. You can come back, have that, that time, and then maybe even find something newer and interesting about it. For me, speed leveling has actually become really fun. Again, I mentioned I'm an altaholic, so it's really cool to jump in and be like, okay, how fast can I level to 20? How fast can I do this in that? I'm not really good enough to go all the way to max level. Classic is still kind of a grind, but it is really cool to see the little micro mechanics that exist in this game, even though, those things weren't really known back in the day, but it is now, and we're seeing how far we can actually push this engine, which again is an incredibly solid foundation to always come back to. This is the World of Warcraft, the nostalgic MMO for probably most people. And finally, for me, it's gotta be RuneScape. Now, I actually did play classic RuneScape, like the OG RuneScape, but RuneScape 2007 was actually my first RuneScape. 2007 was the year. What a year for online gaming. The first online game I ever played was Halo 2. I just walked over to a neighbor's place. They had, it was like a LAN party. They were playing online. They had like the stat pages up because Bungie.net was an amazing website. You could actually see the heat map and all sorts of weird stuff. Like they were pro elite gamers. And I played Halo 2 online for the first time. And I was like, oh my god, wait, online games are amazing. Because until then, I actually didn't have internet at home. I didn't care about internet. I just played my Final Fantasies. That was my thing. I played RPGs. But then after that, I walked away in a daze. My life completely changed. And the next day, I went to a neighbor's and I sat at their computer and I played a game called Runescape, because I heard some friends talking about it on, in school and stuff, and I was like, what's Runescape? Is that an online game? Oh, it's a massively multiplayer online game. All right, let's do this. And that changed my life too, right there. So RuneScape 2000 is, oh my god. I remember my first friend that I ever made in an online game. His name was like Oz Blorax, or it was some random name, right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I remember what he looked like. I remember I had like the blue wizard mage cloak on and everything. I just wanted to be like a little free-to-play wizard. I loved RuneScape. I loved the mystery of the runes. I loved the funny quests. It was so gimmicky. And I remember the shield quest was so epic. You guys remember the shield quest? You have to get one half of the shield, you have to get your friend to get the other half, and you combine your powers together, and you solve the mysteries. And it honestly, oh no, I think one of my favorite quests, the OG quests, was the quest where like you dress up as a pretty girl, and you gotta get rope, and you have to figure out, you gotta like dye the rope, you gotta get yellow dye, you gotta get onions for the dye, and you gotta do this and that, you gotta collect everything. Where do you collect it? Around the world, put it together, and you do the quest. And the quests just felt like quests, and they still do. And luckily you can actually still play old school RuneScape, and luckily it's on my phone. Old school RuneScape is still played on mobile devices. It's still one of the most popular games on the planet. You can play it, it's beloved on Twitch, on YouTube. There's so many fun ways to play that I didn't even know now. But for me, I still actually play it legitimately like I did so long ago. I take it slow, I take it steady. I play for the quests, I talk to people, whenever they need help with quests or whatever, I trade the items they might need and vice versa, and I just kind of do it like that. I point, click, and I'm off on my adventure, and that's okay. Some people really look down on RuneScape because of its graphics. I totally get it. Unlike Minecraft, these graphics really are rough. The user experience is kind of rough. You can kind of alleviate that with some custom launchers, but in the end, you're just gonna have to try to appreciate RuneScape for what it is, and it's kind of a time capsule. It's literally like, its gimmick is that it is the nostalgic MMO, and yet at the same time it does things that every other MMO does worse. RuneScape has the best quests. That is objective. They are all individually handcrafted, they're funny, witty, quick, and overall digestible. You can do a quest or part of a quest, and each little piece of it is fun and enjoyable. There's some stealth missions, there's some that are just real quick and it's just really there for a one-liner, a punchline, and some of them are genuine mysteries. Some you go across the entire map. They're truly epic. So I appreciate RuneScape for its questing. And that's just me. All the way from the stupid Romeo and Juliet one, which, yeah, it's very self-aware, to literally Tutorial Island. Tutorial Island is so magical and cheesy, and it instantly lets you know, it's like, yeah, this game knows it's a game. This is a magical fantasy world that knows it's a stupid magical fantasy world. And you just jump in, and from there, it's kind of a theme park, but it's also a sandbox. It's an actual theme park where you get to choose which rides you ride, which direction you want to go, what food you want to eat, etc., what events you want to go to. Really, most MMO they're not theme parks, they're more like a single ride, and you're just kind of in the queue to finally hit the end, and then it peaks, climaxes, and it's over. But RuneScape kind of doesn't stop, and old school RuneScape is actually kept alive by its community because all the updates to it, which branch off from RuneScape 3, which is actually the true continuation of RuneScape 2007 as it's been updated. So 2007 RuneScape is basically World of Warcraft Classic, but it's been updated in separate, unique ways, completely voted on by the community. So this sort of love and attention to this classic nostalgic MMO is why people can keep coming back. The fact that they put it on mobile devices and that they keep refining it and having these amazing events where it's like, RuneScape is legitimately probably the only actual esport MMO, where the MMO portion is what is an esport. They're even starting things where it's like a fresh start server where you jump in, you level up, and it's basically like it's a competition. They even, they have like the Battle Royale kind of modes. They have true PvP tournaments. It's, the community around RuneScape, the players and the developers who are, pushing and publishing this game, they're not just kind of letting it exist, which kind of actually happens with a lot of older games. Like I mentioned, Toontown is one of those games where, for the most part, it kind of just exists. Then again, that is, a unique situation because technically they don't own the game, but whatever. There's a lot of games that just exist, and they technically patch them, but RuneScape really is a game that, at the same time, is both kept and honest to its original shape and form, and yet they keep adding on to it. They keep evolving it and expanding it. And they keep doing things that MMOs don't dare to, such as these esport events, as, these conventions, and truly, RuneScape celebrates itself. And that's why the community loves it, and that's why the community has stuck around. And being my first MMO ever, one of my first online experiences ever, and being the MMO that I loved first, and felt the magic first, of course it's going to be nostalgic to me, but also the fact that they keep, they keep it going, they keep it running, and they keep adding magic, they keep adding new things to appreciate about the game. I think this might be the game that I play forever as well. I mean, all three of these games I continue to play and I will play, but RuneScape is the game that I think when I'm dying, there's going to be a bunch of events that flash through my eyes. Me playing RuneScape with my best friend from childhood, with him on his laptop, and I'm fucking crying right now, and me on the desktop, and we're just quiet, we're talking through typing, and, we're trying to kill this stupid demon outside of the stupid castle walls. I think that was actually one of the most epic things I ever did. And, fuck. I miss it. I love it. And, those times they're gone, but I can always make new ones, and I can always remember them. I can always come back to RuneScape. And I love it. Anyways, friends and family, that was my list of my 3 most nostalgic MMORPG. No, I didn't play MapleStory back in the day, or maybe like Fiesta Online. I'm sure there's a bunch that you guys have to mention, but there's some that I miss as well. I've already mentioned, but I do want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you love these games still? Did you have your time with them? Why did you quit? Or do you want to come back? You can always join my Discord in the comments below. Let's party up. Let's play. But yeah, this was me. And I hope that's fine. If you like that, you can subscribe if you want to. I hope we can get to 100k. Let's build up the family, friends. And maybe we can start some guilds. Maybe even make some MMOs ourselves in Minecraft or something. And yeah, let's make some memories together. Let's create reasons to be nostalgic years down the road. Much love, friends and family. I'll see you in the next one.